Another year, another itchy Christmas sweater. Though I will say the ladies really love it. I consider that a bonus. Hey, wake up, Red. We gotta get to work on that Christmas special we planned.
No need to yell, Oblivion. I'm up now, thanks to you. So what is it that you want?
What? What's so funny?
Oh my god. What the heck are you wearing? Did your grandma make you that, or is this my only Christmas gift?
You're lucky I can't risk tearing this sweater or you'd be dinner right now.
Dude, I know you're colorblind, but not even Mrs. Twomley would wear that.
Just start the intro before I do something I'll regret. Hello everyone, happy holidays and welcome to It's a Corny Rerun. I'm Oblivion317.
And I'm Record, and as you can tell by the scenery, it's that special time of the year again, or as the nostalgia critic would say,
Christmas! Christmas, 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 Christmas!
So join us as we count out the top 12 cartoon Christmas specials, based on our personal opinion, of course.
Grab some cookies and eggnog as we come to our first stop with... Number 12, Road to the North Pole. Now, Family Guy loves to do road trip musicals, so when it was announced that they were going to do one for Christmas, the hype for it was understandably pretty high. Did they live up to it? You bet they did. The songs in this episode were just fantastic, showcasing some of composer Walter Murphy's best work. They also feel different too, allowing for a diversity that helps the story along quite nicely.
As for the story, I must say, this is one of the darkest Christmas stories I've ever seen. As we follow Stewie and Brian on their journey to the North Pole, we learn that Stewie actually wants to kill Santa due to the mall Santa blowing him off at the last minute, but instead of finding a wonderland of happy elves and jolly old Saint Nick himself, they find a polluted factory filled with disease-ridden elves and an exhausted and dreary Santa Claus.
It is then revealed that Christmas is to blame for their suffering, as the demand for more and more toys grows each year. But this wouldn't be a musical without the song Christmas Time is Killing Us. This makes for a great reflection on how materialistic and commercially demanding Christmas has become, especially for people like Brian who've never really enjoyed the holiday to begin with. Even if you're like us and enjoy the holiday, there's still plenty to take from this episode.
This is one of the more unique takes on Christmas and does offer a different outlook on how something so small as a Christmas wish can grow and grow until it becomes a Christmas desire. With the growing demand from the world, the citizens are left with a choice: either reduce their Christmas list to only one gift a year, or risk losing Christmas altogether.
This is why shows like Family Guy can go underappreciated. They ask the questions that the audience may not, if ever, be ready to answer, making it a very deep show disguised as rude nonsense.
While the episode did have a different take on the materialistic side of Christmas, the next special will focus more on the Christmas spirit. And I'm not talking about that fuzzy feeling you get inside, because that may just be the eggnog. Number 11. The Fight Before Christmas. Danny Phantom has always been one of my favorite Nickelodeon shows, and to see this guy get his own Christmas special while also fighting some ghosts around the holiday is a gift in and of itself. Not to mention the narrative transition from the character's point of view to the Ghost Riders in just the first 3 minutes of the episode was executed perfectly.
The Ghost Rider? I'm surprised they didn't get sued for that name. So just like the story The Night Before Christmas, the episode is done almost entirely in rhyme, and focuses on the Ghost Rider teaching Danny a lesson for destroying his Christmas story. So he traps him along with the whole town in his story until Danny learns not to lash out at everyone else's Christmas. The design of the character is really interesting, and his methods are pretty interesting as well, and not at all what you'd expect from someone like this. He's both funny and creepy, so I'm legitimately surprised that he wasn't used more often after this.
I'll be honest, when I first heard that Danny Phantom was getting a Christmas special, I thought it was going to be a parody of A Christmas Carol, though that wouldn't be a bad idea for a fanfiction. As for my final thoughts, I would say if you enjoyed the Night Before Christmas story, then you'll enjoy this one as well. I'm also surprised this special didn't have any singing. What about you, Oblivion?
I find it interesting how a majority of Christmas specials feature someone who can't get into the Christmas spirit. I think one of the main reasons is that it allows the show to demonstrate how an outsider, like Danny, can find common ground with others. This episode did a fantastic job at that, and I hope that more people take a look at this special for that reason at the least. Number 10. The most horrible Xmas ever. As stated in our first Halloween countdown, Invader Zim benefits with holiday specials by having an outsider's extreme point of view be taken into account. Zim is a great character for this, because he allows an outsider looking in perspective that I don't think is really as present in cartoons these days. So when Zim attempted to take over the world using a Santa suit, we're in for something truly special.
I was surprised to see Invader Zim take crazy and disturbing to a whole new level after his last holiday experience. In the town of whatever it's called, Zim is in need of money and comes across a group of Santas and gets to the bottom of why people dress up as him and celebrate a thing called Christmas. He sees this as an opportunity to impersonate the real Santa Claus in order to take over the world. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. We need a song to go with the madness. Oh, and there was a new character named Minnie Moose. Oh god, I want a plushie like that for Christmas.
This special also allowed for a lot of downright hilarious moments. From Zim gathering data, to becoming Santa, to manipulating the crowd. This episode is just as funny as it was unique. By the way, about that ending. We won't say anything as usual, so I'll leave you with this. You know how Santa is portrayed in Futurama? Well, let's just say that these two shows may be more connected than we originally thought. Overall, a unique and hilarious concept will always go far, especially around the holidays.
This may not be one of the best Christmas specials out there, but it's without a doubt one of the more memorable ones to this day. I'm not sure what Christmas special is more twisted than this one.
Oh, just you wait until number 9 on the list.
Number 9. Christmas with the Joker. Okay, I take it back, this special is more twisted than the last one, and you can't get more twisted than the clown who invented Looney and insanity to begin with. Batman's greatest villain, the Joker, steals the show with his psychotic and unpredictable nature by hosting his own Christmas special that the whole family can't enjoy.
If you're a Batman fan, then this episode is a must for you. On top of being Mark Hamill's first ever appearance as the Joker, which would become one of the most prominent incarnations of the character, this episode also features a pleasant dilemma for the Dark Knight: enjoying the holidays with Robin and Alfred. Since Bruce Wayne lost his parents pretty close to the holidays, he became a bit of a Grinch for the holiday. But when Gordon, Bullock, and Vicky Vale get kidnapped, he needs to put all that aside and do what he does best.
After saving a train, avoiding some gunfire, and facing Joker's toy chest, Batman saves the day, and so begins the animated series with more Joker appearances yet to come. Considering this is around the time when Bruce Wayne lost his parents, you better think twice before committing a crime, or else Batman will show you how jolly he can be.
What can I say that hasn't already been said a million times and by Batman fans already? It's a classic that earned its reputations for many reasons, one of which being the song.
Jingle bells, Batman smelt, Robin laid an egg. The Batmobile lost the wheel, and the Joker got away.
It's worth watching just for that. Number 8. Hearth's-Warming Eve. A world-building My Little Pony episode that also shows off the characters? Sign me up! One of the main elements that draws bronies to MLP is how well developed the world is. So when we got the chance to learn about a piece of Equestria's past, people went nuts. What will we learn? How will the main 6 fit into this? Will it tie in properly to what has already been established? Then, we got our answer.
The episode involves our main characters putting on a play about the 3 pony tribes back before the time Celestia and Luna controlled the rising and setting of the sun and moon. The 3 tribes amount to the Earth Ponies, who are the farmers, the Pegasi, who are the warriors, and the Unicorns as the upper class. As you can tell, each tribe has a strong animosity towards the other one, but also rely on each other to provide food, change the weather, and control the rising and setting of the sun and moon.
However, when a strange blizzard wreaks havoc on the land, the tribes begin to fight amongst each other for the remaining food until they decide to meeting to discuss a compromise. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go so well. So the leaders of the 3 tribes set out to find new land, but ultimately end up trapped in a cave. We're also introduced to a new creature in the My Little Pony universe called a Wendigo, who feeds off the hatred from the ponies and are the ones behind the blizzard.
Now, this episode has spawned a ton of fan theories about the history of Equestria, as well as offers a pleasant insight into the world and traditions of Equestria. The storytelling and execution of the episode was done pretty good, and the atmosphere wasn't that bad at all. And they even managed to squeeze a song in at the end, not one of the best, but a classic take on some of the old Christmas carols. This is one special that is truly in the Christmas spirit, warming up the hearts of even the coldest of ponies. Number 7. Ed, Edd and Eddy's Jingle Jingle Jangle. Don't you just love it when one of your favorite shows actually gets their own Christmas episode? And I'm not talking about the episodes where they just mention Christmas, I'm actually talking about the episodes that take place during Christmas. Ed, Edd and Eddy is a show that's meant to be both funny and relatable in any given situation, so a Christmas special about these 3 is sure to impress.
It was interesting to see how the different characters celebrated the holiday, especially the Cankers. Up to their old tricks again, their story arc fits in surprisingly well, up to the point of parodying the 3 gifts that the wise men gave to Jesus. Oh, so that's what Green Day meant in their Jesus of Suburbia song.
While Eddy does come off as greedy and selfish at first, the truth is that we've all felt what Eddy's feeling right now during one moment in our life, especially around Christmas. All that any kid ever wants is simply to have a good Christmas, whether that means getting the gifts you wanted, the snow that you get to play in, or the food that you get to eat every year. When Eddy is rejected by everyone, that is genuine heartbreak right there.
Without anyone to turn to, Eddy is all alone in the cold and comes across a Christmas tree that has 1 light bulb short, and decides to give it a new one. This one selfless act redeems Eddy for his previous actions and earns him a gift from Santa. Until he steals all of the presents. That was unexpected.
Old habits never die. And speaking of old habits, the ending to this episode involves the Eds getting screwed over by the Kanker sisters again, so not even Christmas and Santa can save them.
Speaking of Santa, the next special actually has a unique take on Old Saint Nick, and considering what kind of Santas we've seen so far, we need a good one at this point.
Well, let's continue and see for ourselves.
Number 6. TWAS the Fight Before Christmas. Powerpuff Girls was always one of those shows that boys could get into as well as girls, sort of setting up the whole MLP craze before it even happened. Can you blame it? Have little girls beat the crap out of giant monsters and anyone would watch. It's like anime with less ridiculously short skirts.
Wow, 2 specials where the narrator speaks in rhymes. Do I hear 3? Okay, moving on. So, being the spoiled brat that she is, Princess heads off to the North Pole in order to check her naughty and nice status. When she's faced with the reality of her demeanor, she does the unthinkable. She switches the list so she's the only nice kid in the world, thus giving her what she's always wanted for Christmas.
To be a Powerpuff Girl.
Considering how we've had a variety of different Santas in both live action and animated movies and shows, there was a lot of pressure to make this Santa unique, and they did a fairly decent job of it. The pressure of being Santa can be quite large, so much so that he didn't even notice that the naughty and nice list underwent a major last-minute transformation. Maybe he's used to how more kids could end up on the naughty list these days?
Considering this is the Powerpuff Girls' first TV movie, I'd say it did a pretty good job with the story it was given, but I did feel that the pacing could have been better. Though my only issue with the special that keeps me from putting it higher on the list is the villain. I mean, I can't stand listening to Princess yell in every episode she's in, not to mention this is pretty much the only episode where she's actually a threat by herself.
Crappy villain aside, this is still one heck of a Christmas special. It's violent, it's a great setup for the holiday, and it takes a look into what makes Santa, Santa. Well worth the number 6 spot.
Number 5. Fairly Odd Parents, Christmas Every Day. Back when Fairly Odd Parents was decent, and I'm talking about way back in season 1, they had a lot of potential to be one of Nickelodeon's best cartoons, and they demonstrated perfectly with this special. When you have fairy godparents that can grant you almost any wish you want, the chance to make everyday Christmas is definitely on every kid's wish list. Now this type of story has been done on numerous occasions, but Fairly Odd Parents has this sort of charm or magic to its special by showing that even though it's caring and in the best of heart to make a wish like that, it does come with its consequences not only for the town, but for the whole world as well.
Considering that this is the only day Timmy gets to spend with his family without the interference of school, work, and Vicky, it comes at no surprise that this is Timmy's favorite time of year. The song Wish Every Day Could Be Christmas illustrates this perfectly, as well as the joy and happiness that comes with the holiday. We also see how other characters celebrate the holiday, which helps gives the episode the scope it needs to convey the overall story.
To be honest, I'm not that much of a fan of the song, or any with Timmy singing. Don't get me wrong, Taylor Storm can sing incredibly, but I'm just not a fan of Timmy singing. So back onto the episode, as Timmy finds out that everyone is sick of Christmas to the point where the other holiday icons want to get rid of Santa, thus getting rid of Christmas, he must now find a way to go to the North Pole and save Santa.
The portrayals of the other holidays was just hilarious, even more so when you take hindsight into account.
That's Baby New Year. Ooh, it's gonna be a big year.
Ain't that the truth? Anyway, when you get these insane caricatures together against a determined Santa, you get one of the best fights from the show. One that's very creative and energetic.
I'm all for the hype and jolly side of Christmas, but where's the emotion? That one instant where the character has a change of heart after neglecting someone close to them.
Oh, just you wait for number 4. Trust me, this one will leave you in tears. Number 4. A Pinky and the Brain Christmas.
Oh no, not this special.
Wait, why?
Last time I saw this special, it left me in tears, and I thought only Disney movies could do that.
Oh, come on, it's been years since then. You might actually be able to get through the ending this time around.
Okay, I'll give it a shot, but just because my therapist recommended at least one emotional moment this year.
Now, this is probably the most emotional episode on the list, especially when you consider how Pinky and the Brain is supposed to be funny. The drama in this episode comes from Pinky and the Brain, one of the most iconic cartoon duos of all time. Their relationship has always made for memorable moments, but this episode takes the cake. As stated in our Halloween countdown, Pinky and the Brain oddly complete each other. Brain provides Pinky with a sense of focus and meaning in his life, while Pinky gives Brain his moral center, helping to rein him in whenever he goes too far.
So when it comes to a Christmas special, Pinky and the Brain manage to maintain their usual shenanigans while also incorporating some emotion into their story. As the episode starts off with Brain working on his newest invention to take over the world, Pinky is more on the festive side and begins to write a letter to Santa. So the brain comes up with an idea to not only get his invention in every home in the world, but also to get Santa to make them all.
So after a trip to the North Pole, we find the brain in panic to get his invention working again before it's too late. We also find Pinky to be distracting him while trying to proceed with his plan. When Brain finally notices the letter Pinky wrote to Santa, it's revealed that Pinky only wanted the best for Brain since he considers him a hard-working friend who thinks about the world.
So when the moment comes to finally get his message across the world, Brain does something truly heartwarming that can give Disney a run for their money.
Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Joy to the world. Yes.
Oh god, that scene was just incredible. The emotion, the characters, the timing, the execution, all of it was just perfect.
It's alright, man. I'm pretty sure everyone felt the same way at this scene. Heck, I don't blame them. It took me several months to get over the death of Littlefoot's mom from Land Before Time. This is why you wanted to do this Christmas special for the longest time. Because of all the fond memories and emotions that these specials brought to you, right?
Yes, that's right. This may not be the #1 special on the list, but I consider it one of my absolute favorite specials and my top Pinky and the Brain episode.
Well, enough has been said for this one. You sure you can continue?
Yeah, I'm fine now. Let's continue with #3.
Sure thing.
Oh, and if you tell anyone what you just saw here, I will destroy you.
Wait, what?
#3. Arnold's Christmas. This is actually a very serious Christmas special, and considering all of the other specials on this list so far have either been funny, performed in a theatrical way, tear-jerking, or just plain twisted, it's nice to see a show like Hey Arnold present an episode that is a genuine slice-of-life Christmas special. Another thing Hey Arnold manages to get right every time is the atmosphere, and considering we gave the #1 spot on our Halloween countdown to this show, it comes at no surprise that it will make its way somewhere on the list.
The special involves Arnold getting Mr. Wynn in a secret Santa grab and trying to find out what he wants for Christmas. When it's revealed that Mr. Wynn came from South Vietnam during a war and had to give up his daughter in order for her to be safe in America, the story becomes one of the most compelling and breathtaking Christmas specials ever made. Arnold is now on a mission to find Mr. Wynn's missing daughter on the day before Christmas, and you can tell that this won't be easy.
There is also a subplot of Helga wanting a pair of snow boots that happen to be on the top of every girl's list on Christmas. The episode does a great job with the pacing of Arnold's last-minute Christmas shopping and the way that both the main plot and the subplot come together to create one of the best conclusions to a great story. It's just fantastic. I won't spoil the ending because it is just that big of a happy ending.
This is a quality Christmas special as it is able to combine two different storylines together, yet deliver a very compelling story. This leads to a chemical reaction whose compound is a resonating and memorable Christmas special that should never be overlooked. #2. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. What do you get when you mix a talented classical actor, a classic story, a famous song, and splendid animation? This.
This special just had to be on the list. This is without a doubt a holiday classic and a must-watch for anyone getting into the holidays. Not to mention the special focuses on the villain throughout most of it, which is something you wouldn't see that often in a kids movie. The narrative of the story is simple, the design and animation is well done, and the songs in this movie are iconic to this day. The animator for this special is Chuck Jones, who worked on all the Looney Tunes shows, and his talent is demonstrated perfectly in this holiday classic.
Don't forget that the narration of the story is done in rhyme.
Wow, that makes 4 stories done in rhymes. Do I hear 5?
Well, actually...
Don't answer that, just continue with the special.
Let's face it, we've all known that one guy who just couldn't get into the holiday spirit. This makes for a relatable story as it's able to show just how badly it affects them, making both the audience and the character interested in what happens next. Besides, it's Dr. Seuss done right. That should be more than enough to forget the stupid live-action movie or the future animated film that comes out in 2017.
What more can we say about this special other than it's easy to see why this movie is so admired by everyone during this time of the year? Heck, even the Nicktoons did an homage to the story, and even though the live-action version of the movie got a lot of mixed reviews, it still makes us appreciate the original and know that nothing can ever top the Chuck Jones version of the story. It's not just a good Christmas short, it's one of the best, if not the best, Christmas specials ever done. And while there is only one great version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the number 1 spot has more versions of the story than any thought possible, but before we go on to the number 1 spot, here are some very honorable mentions.
We're basking in the warmth of Christmas Day. Oh, silver and gold and red and white. Rainbow Christmas is tonight. Don't be a jerk. It's Christmas.
So stick with us, cause Phineas and Ferb are gonna spread some Christmas cheer.
Mom! Phineas and Ferb are making a Christmas special.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King, peace on earth and mercy.
Number 1. Mickey's Christmas Carol. Out of all the Christmas stories we went over on this list, this one has had a ton of adaptations in the past and continues to this day to be as memorable as ever. It's been done in puppets, live action, musicals, hand-drawn, and even computer animation. Not to mention there have been a ton of familiar characters that have reenacted this story, from Disney characters to Warner Brothers, Simpsons, Muppets, and even the Smurfs did their own version of the story, from CGI to traditional hand-drawn animation. All of the specials added a different twist to the story but managed to keep it as faithful to the original.
Seeing this particular classic story put together with a cast of our favorite Disney characters was an absolute treat. It's like Kingdom Hearts, with less commentary on the effect religion has had on modern ethical standards.
Wait, what?
Moving on, Scrooge points out a very important part of Christmas that many people often overlook. If it weren't for people like him, who have a legitimate reason for disliking the holiday, Christmas would not be able to show them the way, resulting in it becoming just as commercialized as many people believe it to be.
Interesting. Now, there were a ton of choices to pick from, and believe me when I say there were a ton to choose from. I'm not even sure Wikipedia has every one of them. The reason we went with Disney's rendition of the story is because they managed to cover the entire story of Charles Dickens in just a half-hour-long special while still adding in some funny bits to the special. I also admire the design of the backgrounds and how well the color shows off the mood of different scenes, from joy-filled to heartbroken and cheerful to frightening.
At the end of the day, this classic story of the emotional transformation of one greedy Ebenezer Scrooge will always be a holiday classic, no matter how the story is told.
This is one story that will always be remembered, and with all the different versions of the story and more soon to come, it's almost impossible to not know this story. With that said, I'm Record.
I'm Oblivion317.
And we watched it and you did too.
It's a corny rerun.